Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for another video, and today I'm talking about Blackpool again. I mean, I've been talking about Blackpool for a few days now, and it's going to continue all the way up till Blackpool. I'm so excited. The whole of the community is excited. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the shows that are taking place on the evening of the Friday, the Saturday and the Sunday. Now, normally in the past, right, I remember back in the day, there would be one gala show and per night, and it would go on for normally about 7.5 hours. Half of that would be Ken Dodd. There'd be a half an hour interval in the middle. And one of the things that has changed ever since Guy, Russ and Russ took over the convention, or the running of the convention, is that they're keeping things much shorter. Now, the gala show is performed twice in one night. So you have sort of two sittings. They keep it nice and tight, about an hour and 15, something like that. There's no interval, it's straight through. But because of that, they also have other shows. And the last few years, they've had a couple of shows that you could go and watch the gala show. And then, you have an early or a later kind of ticket to the gala show. You can go for the early or the later show. And then when you're not in the gala show, you can get a ticket to the other event, whatever the other event is, right? And that's been really, really popular. Now, for the first time that I'm aware of, Blackpool have got multiple evening shows taking place each night, which means you can't see everything. You're going to have to pick and choose which shows you go to. Well, actually, you've got three options. You have to pick and choose between the shows, or you don't see the shows and you go to the Ruskin. Now, honestly, personally, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, I've talked about how I think it's insane if you don't go and see the shows. I think the majority of the money at Blackpool is spent on the shows. The production quality is out of this world, and you're never going to see anything outside of these conventions or going to Vegas with the production quality that Blackpool put on. So with that in mind, I think that everybody should go to the shows on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I really do. But this year, you're going to have to pick which ones you go to. You can't see everything. There's like 3 or 4 shows on every single night. So something's got to give. And I know a lot of people that are going to Blackpool are kind of deliberating, which show should I go to, which show shouldn't I go to? And it's a difficult decision to make, right? There's so many different options. And this video is about what I'm planning on doing. So this is what I'm personally planning on going to watch. And really, there's no right or wrong answer. Just the quality of the shows this year is just astronomical. But I thought I'd talk you through what I'm doing, why I'm making the decisions that I've made. I'm not going to be talking about the late night shows. That's not something I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking specifically just about the shows that are taking place in the sort of the earlier and the later time slot. Because at Blackpool, when the dealers finish, you've got the earlier time slot, you've got the later time slot, and then you've also got the sort of the late night show. And there's a different late night show, a couple of different late night shows every night. I'm not talking about those. Maybe that'll be another video for another time. I'm talking about what's actually happening at Blackpool. And I want to know down below what you think. Are you even going to see the shows, or are you just going to hang out at the Ruskin? Or are you going to be so tired from going around the convention, you're just going to crash in bed for a few hours? Or are you going to see the shows? And which shows are you going to watch? Or are you just going to watch one show? I know some people that watch one show and then go. They don't watch 2 shows. Other people, I know, watch 2 shows. There's so many different options this year. It's amazing. But we're going to get right into it now. And we're going to start off by looking at Friday night. So Friday night. I had a look through the app, and on Friday night, you've got the gala show. And then the other 3 shows, of which you can only pick one, is there's Clec Entos and Dan Sperry together on one show, and Ben Sharman. So it's like, which one do you go for? So many different options, right? And anybody who knows me knows that I have to pick Cody Fisher. As far as I'm concerned, Cody Fisher is up there with Scott Alexander. He is one of the funniest comedy magicians of all time. There is so much material in my show that I do that originated with Cody Fisher. He has this ability, he has this knack to be able to connect to an audience and make them laugh in a way that I've seen very few other performers do. I think of Cody in the same way that I think of Scott Alexander. in that they're both absolutely brilliant performers, but incredibly creative as well. And I know a lot of people all over the world use Cody Fisher's material. And I've been a big fan of Cody for years, and I've seen him on DVD, I've seen him on videotape over and over again. I've never had the opportunity to see him live. So I'm super excited. There is absolutely no way I'm passing this opportunity up. So the first person that I'm seeing on the Friday is Cody Fisher, which is a shame because the other option I'm going to go for is the Gala show. Reason I'm going to go for the Gala show is because the Gala shows at Blackpool are always the best produced, most amazing shows. The lineup on the Gala show this year is incredible. And Russ Stevens, who is, in my mind, one of the world's experts when it comes to producing shows. Look at what he does on Britain's Got Talent. Look at what he does for Blackpool. Look at what he does as a consultant. The guy just has it. And if you've not worked with Russ, and I have been fortunate enough to work with Russ a few times, but if you've never worked with Russ, you don't know how his brain works. And his brain works differently to everyone else's. And I know he will have spent a lot of time and effort making this Gala show the absolute best that it can be. I know it's going to be incredibly well produced, and I know it's going to blow people's minds. There's no way I'm missing that Gala show. And honestly, I personally would say that if you're only going to watch one show the whole time that you're there, go and see the Gala show. I know Russ will want the Friday night Gala show to just make a statement. And there's no way, I don't know what to expect. I know there's going to be an eclectic range of magic on there because there always is. There's going to be comedy, there's going to be manipulators, there's going to be a variety of different acts. And I know it's going to be amazing. So the two shows I'm going for on the Friday is the Gala show and Cody Fisher. The other two look great, and I'm disappointed I can't see them. I'm especially interested in seeing Entos and Dan Sperry. I've never seen Dan Sperry live. Always wanted to. Never seen Dan Sperry live. And also Entos. I mean, if you don't know, Entos is the alter ego of David Stone. So David Stone entered couple of different talent competitions. I think France has Got Talent, and I think he did America's Got Talent as this masked character, Entos. And apparently it's a very different performance style to how David Stone normally performs. And I really wish I could watch that. I really wish I could see that. But I'm not going to pass up Cody Fisher and the Gala show, not even for Entos. And Dan Sperry, you obviously know Dan Sperry is a legend. You know, you don't get to where Dan has got to in this community without being incredible at what you do. But for me, on the Friday night, it's the Gala show and it's Cody Fisher. The Saturday night, dear Lord, the Saturday night. The Saturday night was the hardest decision that I had to make. Why is it a hard decision? Because it's all kinds of awesome and excellent. Well, first of all, the Gala show is the one. The second one competition. Now, if you don't know what the one is, we had one not last year, but the year before. And you had some amazing names in Magic entering the one. You had people like Mario Lopez entering. It's basically a competition that anybody from all over the world can enter. And you can enter with any type of act. You can be an illusionist, you can be a manipulator, you can be a comedy magician, you could even do sort of close-up, but, you know, kind of designed for stage. There's so many different things that they will allow you to do. You can enter with any type of act. And they put the best act through to this competition. There's no trophies or anything like that. There's a big cash prize of something like £30,000 or something. And what was interesting about the one last year, you never knew who was entering the one. You never knew who was in the competition. And it made it kind of really interesting. Oh, who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? And then when you were watching, you realised that there were a lot of big names vying for this championship. And I like watching competitions. I think that people are going to really up their game in a competition. They're going to do the best that they can possibly do. And the one is, you know, I don't know, you might be able to argue with it, but I think that the one is probably the biggest magic competition in the world. It's right up there with FISM. And the kudos that you get from doing the one, and not just the kudos, but the money as well, is incredible. And I know, as I say, I know Guy Barrett, I know Russ Stevens, I know Russ Brown very, very well. And I know that they have had so many people apply to be in the one. And they said that the lineup, the people that have made the competition, are the absolute best of the best. So the one competition, I'm definitely going to see that, and I'm expecting big things. And also, let's not forget, the one is being compared by Eric Leclerc, who is an incredible comedy magician. I've always said that comparing is the hardest job. Blackpool, you can pay me. You could pay me all the money in the world and it wouldn't be enough to compare Blackpool. You are never going to win. I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to win comparing Blackpool, because there's always people in there. It's a room full of magicians, thousands of magicians watching you thinking, well, I could do that better. That's not very funny. Oh, that's a hack line or whatever it may be. No, there's no way I would compare Blackpool. But Eric Leclerc, you know, he's a comedy genius. He's a fantastic magician. And, you know, if I had to make a short list of people who I think would be a great compare at Blackpool, he would definitely be on the list. So, yeah, the one is great. Now, the other three, you got Jack Rhodes. I'm a big fan of Jack's comedy. I really am. Jack really made a statement on Britain's Got Talent, you know, getting through to the finals, second place. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. A lot of people said he should have won. A lot of people thought he was going to win. He didn't win, but I mean, his videos and his performances on Britain's Got Talent and everything that he's done since Britain's Got Talent has shown just how much of a unique performer he is. His personality, his skill set, everything is just brilliant. I love Jack Rhodes very, very much. And I know that his act is going to be amazing. Some of my favourite memories from Britain's Got Talent come from Jack Rhodes. They just do. And then the next show that we need to talk about on Saturday night is Tom Wright. I mean, I don't think this has ever happened before, but Tom Wright was booked to do a show last year. And so many people missed it because they didn't anticipate it being as successful as it was. And so they put him in a smaller room. So many people were annoyed that they didn't see it. They've booked him again and put him in a massive room. Tom Wright he's really become kind of like the magician's magician. I know when I first met Tom Wright, he was a close-up magician, just a jobbing close-up magician. And now look at him. He's, you know, performing at the highest level. He's got an incredible stage show. Tom Wright is brilliant, and he's very funny, and he's got this very quick wit. He's as funny as Jack Rhodes, but in a different way. And I know his show is going to be funny. I know John Morton, who is a creative genius, has been working behind the scenes with Tom on his show, and I just know that show is going to be amazing. Tom Wright, Jack Rhodes, two brilliant shows. But I have to go with Killian's My World of Magic, which is insane because I've watched it like 1,000 times. But, you know, Killian, I'm all about youngsters getting ahead in magic. I'm all about the youth movement and the juniors in magic. They are literally the future of magic. And Killian O'Connor has just really cemented his legacy at such a young age, doing so well on Britain's Got Talent, traveling the world, America's Got Talent, or America's All-Stars, so many different things that he's done, so many different performances he's done. And last summer, he did his tour. He did the My World of Magic tour all over the UK. Ryland, my son, was on the tour with him and as his special guest. And the two of them together smashed it. Anybody who went to any of the dates that Killian went to on the tour knows how well that those two did. Well, the show returns for, one night only on Saturday night. It's going to be Killian O'Connor. And now, as well as having Ryland as his special guest, he's got another special guest, Harry Merlin Piper. If you don't know Harry Merlin Piper is the son of Rodney James Piper, who is the CEO and founder of the House of Illusion in Spain. And Harry was born to be a magician. Harry was born to be a performer. He is a ventriloquist, a comedian, a magician. His card manipulation is next level. This kid is the golden ticket. Is in wrestling talk, he's a blue chipper. He's a guaranteed cert. He's the Bron Breakker of the magic world. He really has a huge future ahead of him. He really does. And every day he continues to impress and he continues to amaze. And Harry is part of the show with Killian. So it's Killian, it's Harry, and Ryland is going to be doing a bunch of stuff. He's going to be doing his Harry Potter act, amongst other things. He has become known for doing his Harry Potter act. Obviously, he debuted at Blackpool last year in the Family Entertainer competition, and since then has literally performed this act all over the world. We've just come back from Manchester, where he filmed part of the Harry Potter act for Blue Peter. He's going over to America next month to perform over in America doing the Harry Potter act. This has kind of become his signature piece, and he will be at Blackpool doing the Harry Potter act. I believe he's doing some other stuff as well. I don't know, but they're taking a 1 hour, 20-minute show and they're condensing it into a really tight 1 hour with Harry in there as well. This is going to be, and look, I know there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, we're not going to see that. It's a bunch of kids. I'm telling you right now, you will be amazed at the level of magic in this show. You'll be amazed at the Killian's routines will fool you. Ryland's Harry Potter act will amaze. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible. And Harry with his card manipulations, I think this is the sleeper. This is the hit. This is going to be the one everyone's talking about. It really is, which is why I'm going to go and watch it. I cannot wait to see their show. I know their show is going to be absolutely fantastic. I know the three of them working together are making a statement that the future of magic is in safe hands. Mark my words. Harry, Ryland and Killian together on the stage. It's going to be amazing. And then you've got the Sunday night show. Well, there's a couple of different options again. It's very difficult. Let's go through what you've got. First of all, you've got Rick Thomas, The Mansion of Dreams, which is kind of the gala show for this night. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to see Rick Thomas. I reckon, and I don't know the figures, and I've said this before on the channel, I reckon Blackpool have paid more money to get Rick's equipment over to the UK than anything else they've spent on the whole convention. I can only imagine how much they've spent. It is going to cost a fortune. If you've not seen a big, high-end, large-scale, grand illusion show on this scale, you are in for a treat. And I know there's people going to be watching this going, I don't like illusions. All you have to do is point to a box and that's it. You don't know what you're talking about. There's so much more to being an illusionist than pointing to a box. And Rick Thomas does it better than anybody. I mean, this is going to be an incredible show. How they managed to get him over to the UK, how they managed to get the Mansion of Dreams show to the UK, I don't know. But this is going to be a spectacle. This is going to be popcorn, eye candy for the soul. You know, whatever analogy you want to say, this is what this is going to be. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Rick Thomas, Mansion of Dreams, big, massive tick from my point of view. I think this is going to be the highlight of my convention. I cannot wait. Now, what's the other show that I go to? Because it is a cracker. You got Dom Chambers. I don't really know much about Dom Chambers' show. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know much about it. And maybe that's why I'm probably not going to pick Dom Chambers, because I don't know his show. I've heard really good things about it, like really good things, but I don't know his show very well at all. Then you've got Mark Paul. So Mark Paul is, in my mind, one of the greatest living mentalists in the world today. He is super knowledgeable. He is super amazing. I love his style. I love his act. And, you know, there's a reason why this man is so well respected in the community. There's a reason why this man has literally traveled the world doing what he does. And the reason is very simple. It's because he's the best in the world at what he does. I've seen Mark Paul perform and I've seen him lecture many, many times. The guy just has it. And then you've got Chris Dugdale, who has been at the top of his game his entire life. He goes every year to the Edinburgh Fringe and sells out every single show he does. He started off in the UK. He moved over to America. He is a highly sought after magician, illusionist, literally the best of the best, you know, and he has a brain for magic, and not just for magic, but for business and also for helping people. Chris is phenomenal. So, who do I go and see? As with Chris Dugdale, Dom Chambers and Mark Paul. Well, it's not going to be Dom Chambers because I don't know his show. I know I said on a previous video, you've got to try new things, and I agree, but I'm going to go with Chris Dugdale. I was umming and ahhing between all three of them, and then I kind of discounted Dom Chambers, and I kind of ummed and ahed between Chris and Mark. And I've seen Mark perform many, many times, and I did a video recently all about, going and seeing people you've never seen before, because you might not have another opportunity to see them. And I've known Chris for years, but I've never seen him perform a full show. And I've heard so much about it. So I'm going to go with Chris Dugdale. So on the Sunday night, it's going to be Rick Thomas, Mansion of Dreams, and Chris Dugdale. On the Saturday night, it's going to be The One Returns and Killian's My World of Magic. And on the Friday night, it's going to be Cody Fisher and The Gala Show. That is what I'm planning on seeing. I think that there's no lose situation here. Blackpool have put together some of the best stage shows in the world today. And honestly, I'm telling you right now, if your plan is to not bother going and seeing any of the shows and instead go and hang out in the Ruskin, there's nothing wrong with hanging out in the Ruskin, but try at least to watch one show each night, because this is where the spectacle is. This is where, as far as I'm concerned, the magic is, they probably spend more money on these shows than any other aspect of the convention. So go and see them, because I know you won't be disappointed. Now it's over to you. Let me know what you think. Which one are you going to go and watch? What are you going to go and see? Are you going to go and watch Mansion of Dreams? Are you going to go and watch Mark Paul? Are you going to watch Killian? Are you going to watch The What? What are you going to watch? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, tell me if you're excited about Blackpool, because I am super excited about Blackpool. I will be back again very, very soon with another video, probably about Blackpool, if I'm being completely honest. But first of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and finally, if you haven't already done so, please join the Netrix. It's my online streaming platform for magicians, and you can get access immediately. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.